don't want to see this bouncing up and down. Come on. All right, all right.
Oh my goodness, you're a beast.
Did anybody get you? Stand up and pose for me. Pluck the hell out of him. Ready? All right. Hey everybody, we're Kate and Misha of For Love of Wind. Welcome back, or if you're new here, welcome. Check out our old videos if you want to get caught up, because we're just going to jump right into it, I think. Yeah. We got a big package in the mail. What? Actually, we got like a dozen of them.
Yes, we did. Yeah.
We, in preparation for our electrical build, when we put the tower on, because we wanted to do solar and everything, so we ordered 4 200 amp hour lithium batteries, and we ordered a new inverter, partly because, and we didn't capture it on video, our old inverter burnt up like a week prior to this, so we have no inverter, which doesn't matter. We're plugged into shore power anyway. We're good. Get the new inverter. We got a big all-in-one inverter, 4K low frequency inverter to handle the surges, so we can run the refrigerator and the air conditioners and stuff like that if we need to, and a ton of battery. We picked it all up in the little Fiat.
So here we are in the Fiat with 4 batteries and an inverter, and they all managed to fit. She's riding a little bit low in the back, but we're getting it all in one load.
I don't know what the gross weight of a Fiat is, but I bet this is the heaviest Fiat in the U.S. right now.
These are the challenges you face when you live on a boat.
Oh my goodness, you're a beast.
All right, there's 1 down.
All right.
4 more to go. Are we going to have room to store it all on the boat until we get it installed? Should we just leave it in the car for now?
No, we'll put it up forward. Put it in the forward cabin.
Okay. It's all going to have to...
Anyway, we're getting a dinghy. We're so excited about that. We looked at how many dinghies. Lots and lots of dinghies.
We searched for a long time because there were not very many available, and we were not looking to buy a new one because we don't really have a lot of money. We can't afford a new dinghy, or the new ones in our price range were not really what we were looking for. So we were looking for something used in good condition that met some certain criteria.
In good condition. Some of the things that we wanted and we think is a good idea were we wanted an aluminum or a metal bottom of some kind because
we're not very graceful, and and we don't really know what we're doing yet. So there's bound to be times where we're going to strike rocks and coral and hit bottom and bump up against docks and whatnot. And
well, you just come up on a beach, right? A gravel beach as opposed to a sand beach. It's wear and tear on the bottom, right? That's a thing.
Yeah.
That's a thing. We also wanted a false bottom. And if you're not familiar with what a false bottom is, the V-shaped hull on the bottom of the boat is shaped like this, and a false bottom goes across here so that there's water underneath here if the water gets in the boat, but it's also flat. There was a couple of dinghies that we looked at that were like landing craft style, right? So instead of coming to a rounded point or a point like this, it was 2 inflatable tubes down the side and a flat panel to be able to easily get on and off the front, right? I showed you those.
Yes, which looked really nice.
Looked really nice, and
it got really good reviews. There were a lot of people, a lot of good reasons to get one.
Yeah, those things, the panels that create the floor fold up, and the whole dinghy goes in a bilge, right? Super simple. At the time, we didn't have a tower or dinghy davits, but the flat bottoms are rough ride. Oh, there's a good dive spot. Like 15 minutes that way on a different island. You don't want rough chop, right? You don't want to see this bouncing up and down. Come on. all right.
Plus, I was gonna say something, and now I don't even remember what I was gonna say.
Yeah, you are.
I was gonna say. Plus, if you can't get on plane, how are you gonna do dinghy races?
Oh yes, dinghy races.
Very important. That was one of our top criteria.
Yes, definitely.
The dream dinghy.
The dream dinghy. And it fit in the Suburban somehow. We're going to inflate it for you so you see what it looks like, but it's an AB Laminia 10AL. It's aluminum V-shaped hull. It's got the double floor, so it is a dry bottom, right? Any water that gets into it goes underneath that and then drains out. We got it with a 2-stroke engine, so I'm super excited. Let's get it out and get it inflated and get it on the boat.
Let's do it. Testing out the dinghy.
In fact, we had a long drive to get there, and when we got there, the guy's like, "Are you a cruiser? Do you have a sailboat?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Yeah, a powerboat guy wouldn't drive 3 hours for a dinghy." And was not selling, did not have for sale his Tahatsu 2-stroke 18 horse that weighs like nothing.
Right. That was what he used, but that was not part of the listing.
That was not part of the listing, and it was not for sale. It was not included. Gave that to us as well. So
he told him.
He didn't give it away. He sold it to us, but cheap.
Somehow we talked him into parting with that 2-stroke motor, which you can't get in the United States anymore.
And cheap. He said he wanted copies of us winning races. So
winning dinghy races.
Winning dinghy races. So when we win some dinghy races, we'll tag him in these videos.
reason why we got a good deal on this dinghy was because it's not in perfect condition.
It had, he was very open about the fact that it had a couple of weeping wounds. But the chaps you need to like take off and still put UV treatment on. It had sun damage. I spent a lot of time in the Caribbean. And these weeping wounds.
But first thing we have on the starboard side is a leak above our aft grab handle. Okay, we could hear something fast up here, but couldn't really see it. And as we give the camera a minute to focus, right here by this flange, we have this worn slice. That's a fairly fast leaker. Right up next to the patch and all along the sides of this patch. And same thing over here. As we work up, we've got a lot of extraneous adhesive that was left and leaks coming up over the sides. When I'm looking at the fabric of this boat, and I see, actually it's two leaks. There's one right here, a creamer, and then a faster leak right here.
Yes, and this was not a new dinghy by any means. It was many years old, so I think it's a 2013. 2013. And now it's 2023, so it's a 10-year-old dinghy. So it's had a lot of use and seen a lot of sun.
Yeah, so, but it was exactly what we wanted, and patching is not horribly expensive. So we tried to find a place to patch it. Everybody in the Cape Canaveral area was like 6 months out.
I even called places that repair like party inflatables, like bounce houses and things like that. Nobody could get us in.
We ended up finding a place in St. Augustine, like 2 hours away, that could get us in a reasonable time. So on a Friday, we deflated the dinghy and threw it in the back of the Suburban and drove it 2 hours away to the dinghy repair place, expecting it to get it back in like a week or two.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was the plan. That was the plan.
And that was fine because we didn't need it.
No.
Pose for me. There we go. Let me get out of the light.
My back.
At this point, we decided to take a break. The marina was throwing a Halloween party, and they decorated the cabana and pool area pretty well.
Hi, Misha.
Look at me, just as all the others have. Now that I have you, your soul will be mine forever.
Unfortunately, because the DJ was playing a lot of copyrighted music, most of the audio was unusable, but we'll make do.
So we don't keep Halloween costumes on the boat, and we are on a budget. That kind of seems to be an overarching theme for us, but we didn't want to blow a lot of money on Halloween costumes that we're only going to wear once. So we took things that we already had around the boat and we made our own Halloween costumes, essentially. I had a dress, Kate had a sheet, and bingo, there you go. So we were Cleopatra and Mark Antony.
We have gotten rid of all our old batteries and all our old inverter. we're on shore power, so we're good. We're stable. We have shore power, thankfully. Because if you recall, we lost the generator in the transit. If you haven't seen that on our first video, watch that. We lost the generator in our transport up to Camp Marina.
Yes.
Right. It was a cooling issue.
It was the beginning of a calamity of errors.
So no generator, no batteries, no inverter, no dinghy. But thankfully, we're on shore power, and we have weeks and weeks to get everything installed.
So if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. We definitely wouldn't have a channel without you guys. We really appreciate it. And please consider liking and subscribing if you haven't already. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. It does really help us out. And you can also follow us on social media at For Love of Wind. We're on Facebook and Instagram.
So next week, it gets really intense. So join us. We can't wait to see you.
Notification. That's a hard word to say. Notification.
It does really help us out.